guys, we are here. You are ready. I'm ready for you. I'm ready to expound on my journey of publishing. So today is all about how does a single mom do it all and write behind the scenes road to publishing. And I know you are saying to yourself, like, I got 30 kids or, all of these different things that are up against me. And how in the world can I find time to write? Listen, today during this AuthorTube, we are going to discuss it. Okay, we're going to have a dialogue. This is not just a monologue on today. I want you to be as much as a part of this conversation as you possibly can. But the only way that you can do that is if you are subscribed to the channel. Make sure you're subscribed in order to leave your questions so that I may answer, so that you may be engage the way that you want to engage and get the answers that you have to your questions, right? So listen, I'm excited about today, and you know what we do. You know how we do it. Come on now, go ahead and tag someone. Let your next, YouTube buddy know that, hey, the AuthorTube is here. You want to get in, someone that is a struggling writer. They are doing everything they can to make it happen, and they need just that extra, encouragement, the extra, push, that extra oomph to get them to that next level, to get them to that next phase, to get them unstuck. And this is the place to be. We've already been discussing it about how to overcome, writer's block and all these other types of obstacles that may keep you from achieving your goal of becoming a successful writer. Okay, so we are going to get this party started, right? And you know how we start off with a little bit of music to get us going. Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Because I'm ready. Are you ready? Just need some feel good music right now. Be okay. Okay. You as an author is going to be okay. So dance all those troubles away, dance all the stress away, dance all the worries away, and just put your mind in the zone of receiving. Know what this is called. I think this is called the wax on and wax off. If y'all Karate Kid, this or this way. This it. This is it. And this is called the drum roll, please. Are y'all ready? Are y'all doing it? It's like a workout today. It's like a really nice workout to get rid of toxins, toxicity that may have been built up because you've been so stuffed, you've been so worried, you've been so concerned and consumed with this book. Listen, we're going to put all that out the window. Oh, y'all know what this is. All right, we're just going to dance just a few more minutes, and then we are going to talk a little bit about yesterday, Mondays. Okay, a few more minutes in. We almost, a few more seconds. We're going to both. Wipe them haters off. Wipe those worries off, those stress off, the concerns off. And we're just going to be free. You guys, thank you so much for allowing me to humor you just for a few seconds, okay? But we're going to get into what the day is all about. It is the AuthorTube. How does a single mom do it all and write? Behind the scenes and road to publishing. So I'm going to share some behind the scenes with you. We're going to talk about how does a single mom do it all and write? What are some steps that you can take in order for you to be that successful writer that you desire to be? If you have been keeping along with the AuthorTube tour, I appreciate you guys. So this is our third week. We have one more week. Whew, you guys have been rocking with me for almost a month, right? And we have been showing up 4 days out of the week. And I appreciate you for being in the room, for being in this atmosphere, for making it as great as it can be. So show yourself some love in the comments, okay? Show yourself, pat yourself on the back, give yourself some kudos, especially if you have been with me all 3 weeks. Listen, I need you to put a strong fist up. If you've been with me all 3 weeks, put a strong fist up. If you've been with me for 2 weeks, put that heart up. And if this is your first day joining me, listen, you're going to put that one up. One little finger, you're going to put that one up to let me know this is your first day. And every other person that has been rocking with me for 3 weeks or for 2 weeks, we're going to go and we're going to surround them with so much love. And we're going to say hi. We're going to welcome them into the room, welcome them into the space, make them feel loved, make them feel like this is the place that they need to be. This is the community that they need to be in, because you never know who don't have the support that they feel like they should have. Have you ever been there before? You are writing and you're sharing your story and you're telling others about this great idea to put your story in the book, but every other person or those that you're telling, or maybe one person that you're telling, they're kind of shooing you off. They kind of laughing at you, kind of making you feel as if, what you're talking about or writing about doesn't matter, and they can make you feel as if what you are saying is obsolete. So I want to let you know you are in the right space. You are in the right place. You are in the right location. You are here at the right time. This space is for you. This space is for those that have a vision of being a writer, have a vision of sharing their story to communities to help them overcome their obstacles. This space is for you. And just like my book says, what's your I can? Realize your I can in purpose, business, and family. That's the same way you are going to help the next person realize their I can in purpose, business, and family. So we're going to sit this right here. We're going to sit this up. I guess we're going to sit it right here. We're going to put it on the other side, maybe. Y'all, I normally have this all set up to where everything is not falling. So if it falls in the background, just overlook it. All right. Anywho, so I'm glad that you're here. I'm excited about everything that is going to be taking place. Listen, if you were with me during the Q&A, how powerful was that? How insightful was it? How impactful was it? I shared a question about anything from my past mistakes that I fear that has caused my children to have, to not be able to see clearly. And so I shared, my area. I shared that with you all during the Q&A. And if you have not gotten a chance to listen to that, listen, binge watch the same way you do with Netflix and all these other types of, live streaming, broadcast. You can binge watch this particular AuthorTube so you can get all the yumminess from the beginning to the end. If you have not been with me from day one, listen, day one is filled with a lot of housekeeping and how the YouTube or AuthorTube is going to flow and what to expect at the end. The end is on the 26th, I believe, or the 29th. I don't know. The 26th, the last Saturday in this month. And it is going to be filled with so much yumminess, so much information, and also a little treat that I have planned for you guys. So, but you have to listen to the first one in order to know how to be a part of what's planned on the last day. And we have been having amazing speakers. Have we not? Amazing guests. Have we not? Have your hearts been filled with so much wisdom, knowledge, encouragement, push, passion, purpose, power to get you from one place to the next? Listen, my first speaker, my first author guest was my very own sister, Kimberly Smith Oye Daly. And what I'm going to do a solid here. I know you see my information scrolling down, but I'm going to share. I don't have that particular link with me, but you can get your copy of my sister's books, KimberlyOyedaily.com. So www.KimberlyOyedaily.com. Kinsey chased chickens and I don't like wearing shoes. Two amazing books for children to help them with spatial learning and as well as colors and words. It is a beautifully written book. I love the color of the pages. I love the storytelling. I love the imagination. I love the creativity. I love the, parent-child relationship. I just love that it also helps the parent to travel back in time to when they were a child and some things that they didn't like wearing. And it just brings the whole family together in a magical or wonderful adventurous story. So you guys make sure that you grab that copy of, or both copies of those books written by my lovely sister, Kimberly Oyedaily. And then the other author that I had a privilege to have an amazing conversation with is the one and only Aisha Taylor. Phenomenal. Listen, navigating the impossible. She shared the impossibles in her life, how she had to navigate being fired or leaving her 9-to-5 job where she was making six figures and she is a financial guru, and how that caused a setback, but it did not cause her to give up on her dreams, her aspiration, and then also unexpected birthing or unexpected single mamahood. I would say that with not only just that, listen, twins, having twins and becoming a single mother. I'm just like, blown away by the message of hope in every author that has graced this stage. And I want you to be filled with that same message of hope, that same message of encouragement, power, and also the marketing, the how to make it as a writer, the tips and the tools and the resources that has been left for you to glean from you to pick up. It is, y'all, I just can't tell you guys how phenomenal this AuthorTube tour has already been. So make sure you grab that copy, okay? And so at this moment, listen, what we're going to do is going to give you a chance to go grab your snack, go ahead and grab your coffee, get yourself settled in, because the next half is all about how does a single mom do it all and write. My behind the scenes, a road to publishing. I can't wait to see you in the next 30 seconds, okay? We'll be back shortly. I'm excited that you are in the room with me. I am excited that you're here. I am excited that you're catching the replay. I am excited that you are sharing and that you're loving and you are enjoying the journey. If we were in person, listen, the atmosphere would be way charged. You will be, just a lot of liveliness, and the atmosphere would be powerful. So I want to impart into you on today the power and the strength that you need to write as a single mom. Right, make it happen as a single mom. Okay, so we are going to be talking about that 3 tips. We're going to talk about writing and sharing and what this looks like as a single mom, my journey, some things that I can pour out, some things that I can help you overcome. So if you have any questions, what is your question to how does a single mom do it all and write? And I think that is the biggest question that we're going to answer on today. How does a single mom do it all and write? Okay, so one of the things that I had to do on my journey of writing, if you're not if you haven't been following along, I've answered or shared some of my journey of writing and some of the obstacles I had to face in writing. I started my writing journey in 2016 in a women's shelter. I, continued to write. I had to transition from the women's shelter because my time was up there. It was like a women program to where it almost like a transitional home, I would say. And so by the time that was in 2017, so I was there for about a year. And by the time I was getting ready to transition, I felt like this weight of like, where am I going to go? Because regardless of how much I was trying and how much I was, working, it seemed as if I could not just get that breakthrough. Have you ever been there before? And it affected my writing, and I would write, but at the same token, I just felt empty. I felt tired. I felt overwhelmed. I felt the pressure of now I'm having to leave this particular place, and where am I going to go? And so I continue to write through that. I continue to, use every details or every event happening in my life as part of my story, and as part as my healing, as part of my growth. And so even when I had to transition from out of the transition or the women's shelter, and it was a phenomenal place. I love the atmosphere there. I called it my Garden of Eden because it was so beautiful. It has so much space. There was a lot of events and activities, and it just helped me to recalibrate. It helped me to get my mind back on the right focus, on the right path, and all those things. And as well as financially getting myself situated, secure. I was able to land a couple of jobs during that time of my life. And so it was a beautiful place. And I wrote from that space. I wrote from being in a, having to seek counseling and to talk about what I'm dealing with and how to get from point A to point B. So during that time, it was that was my highs and lows. My highs and lows of that time, was really shaping me and making me into the person, the author, the writer that I am now, because it gave me more meat. It gave me more substance. It gave me more awareness of what's going on in my life and around and other people's life. So how does a single mom do it all? Because I guess you're kind of wondering, what is doing it all? What is doing it all for me? Well, if you don't know me, let me introduce myself. For those of you who do not know me, I am Christy Angelie, the transformative speaker, biblical business growth strategist, personal chef, now author, and I'm also do work in ministry, and I'm also a single mom of two boys. We homeschool, and so I'm a full-time entrepreneur. So we're juggling all of these different phases or different, who I am. It's like, how do I find time, and how did I find the time? How do I do it all? It's, you have to find organization is key. Organizing and boundaries, having good organization is organizational skills and boundaries. And these things that you can learn, these things aren't just, overnight. Unless some people are just naturally gifted with organizing your day, organizing your writing time, organizing your children and their activities. See, then, when I started out writing, they were in school. So still having to organize when I got home from school, and having to do homework with them, having to make food, making sure they're in bed, and then having to be at church, or having to do events, because during this time I was an event planner. And so before I kind of just continue to, transition or develop or evolve into, a different parts of who I was. So being an event planner helped out a lot, because organizing was key to being an event planner, right? Knowing how to compartmentalize, knowing where things go, knowing how to knowing when to use, bobby pins, when to use safety pins, just, metaphorically, using analogy. So knowing your day, and so getting a good night's rest, exercising, these things will help you to do it all, because when you exercise first things in the morning, it gives you more energy, it helps you to think clearly, it set the tone for the day, it causes you to have a better, thinking capabilities. So also planning out your meals will be a great tip as well, to doing it all. And also incorporate, asking those, having a good support group. Having a good support group is key. Building a community. And I know you probably saying, well, I don't have anybody. It's just me. Who's going to be there to take care of my kids when I'm trying to write? And if you don't have anyone in your immediate support group, you look around. If you're in a church, if you are go to your local library, go to places that, host children gatherings such as the library, and start befriending people, and use those downtimes that your children may have, like sleeping or when they're away at school, and use those times for writing. So if you're working a 9 to 5, how can you write and work 9 to 5? I did that. I worked a 9 to 5 and I still wrote. So when I was inspired by something that was going on, or thinking about my book, I would record. So I wasn't literally having time to sit down and type it all out, but I would record. That's an awesome thing about your phone. I would record what I was wanting to say so that I could, go back and listen to it, and then I could write it down in my book. So there are ways to do it all. And if we're looking at it from a elephant point of view, like this is a big elephant to eat, a big task for you to, take on one bite at a time. Do what you can do. That is the whole, title or the theme or the purpose or the message of my book. What's your I can? And then realize your I can. You will have an epiphany. You will have oh my gosh, a downloaded moment of this is what I can do. So don't focus on, change your mentality as well. So doing it all means that you have the power over what you're thinking, allowing to come in, allowing to go out, allowing what you have the power over what you are allowing to sit in your spirit and your emotions. And so if you're looking at everything and then also looking at everyone else and they're making it happen, stop focusing on everyone else. It's not about what everyone else is doing. It's about your I can. It's about your potential. It's about the resources that you have. It's about your moment, your space. You know your days. Everybody have the same hours of the day. And so we have to, steward our hours well. If you're working a demanding 9 to 5, if that's your choice of working a demanding 9 to 5, so that's your choice. But if you're wanting to, okay, I don't want to have so much of a demand on my life, maybe you should think about getting another job. So there's a lot that goes into how to do it all and right. Some things that you really have to, sacrifice. Say, is this worth my writing? Or where you are financially. So if you are in a place where you're struggling and you're lack, and look at where your finances are going. Look at where your money is going. Setting a budget, understanding that this is more important in my life right now. And that way it can free up some time so that you can write. So you don't have to work overtime. So you don't have to work 2 jobs. So you don't have to work 3 jobs. Listen, I did that. I did that. I worked 2 or 3 jobs at one time. So I understand the rat race of getting out of debt, or being able to put food on the table, or making ends meet to put clothes on the back. I understand that. So, but properly utilizing your time, being good steward over what you have. And that will help in the process of writing and doing it all. That's how to write and do it all. Is this something that you want to hear? You may be thinking, oh, well, let me see the behind the scenes of what it is what does it look like as far as the, publisher to go with, or what. Listen, all that is coming. So you may be in this space of mentally being blocked, emotionally being blocked, and how to do it all and write, because you are feeling overwhelmed. You're feeling the stress. So we got to work through. So I had to work through some things in order for me to write. I had to work through some emotions. I had to work through some mental blockages. I had to work through some challenges in order for me to write, in order for me to say, what is my I can, and stop allowing the outside outside for facts to determine my inward, how I'm going to respond or how I'm going to continue to show up and write. Continue to show up even when you are, on your worst days. If you could just get your phone and press record. You may not all the time feel like taking out the laptop or putting pen to paper and actually writing. But if it's just recording, and that could be something that you can use in your writing, it may be a chapter, it may be a new way of thinking and a new concept, a new perception on something that you did write, and you can add more meat to your book, to what you're saying, to what you're sharing. And so take those opportunities every moment, to use that as your world is your book, your world is your story, how you are interacting with the world, how you're engaging with the world. So we talked about your finances, we talked about time management is really key, organizing is really key. So to do it all is organizing. How did I operate out of all of these places? Because I was putting together events, I was setting up doing podcasting. I was a podcaster, which will be coming back, you guys. So there was a lot of different aspects or different pulls, I would say, that I was being pulled to different directions of my life. So being a multi-passionate entrepreneur, understanding the my capacity and when to, okay, now it's time for events, now it's time for podcasting. Look at what that looks like. Having a plan or having a workflow is key to doing it all. And your workflow will include your children, your workflow will include your days off, your workflow will include your vacations. Your workflow is not just one aspect of your life, just work, but how does it look in the overall scheme of things, in the total scheme of things? And so when you are trying to do it all, it's good to sit back and look at what's going on in your life and seeing where you can cut back on this, where you can stop doing this. If you are the one that, you're coming from a large family like mine, and we're a family of 8, and we're always having events, always doing things. So sometimes it's like, well, I can't do that right now, but give me this time. So having your time set, oh, I could work around this schedule, or as soon as I get done with this, I could be over. You don't have to allow the events of the day or life to be so demanding. I talk about that life on demand, or being life on demand versus life in demand. And so you don't have to live your life on demand with everything else in this world, and you're trying to keep up with everything else. But when you get to a place where you are valuable, things coming to you, and you get to pick and choose what you're able to do, that's life in demand. You are in demand. So therefore, you get to pick and choose. You get to, set your schedule of when you want to go, how you want to go, how you're wanting to show up. But if you don't know where you're going and know who you are as a writer and as a single mom and how to do it all, it'll become chaotic. And we don't want a chaotic life. We don't want a life of confusion. We don't want a life of a confused author. And that may be where you are right now. Of, man, I can't get this. I don't even know the first step of getting my book out. I don't even know the first step. I'm stuck on this chapter. I am stuck in this, I am at this place in my life where I don't even know what to write anymore. So much is going on. So settling yourself, finding a game plan for yourself, involving your children, involving people around you, that's your family that may be pulling at you. Let them know what's going on in your world, and and they will be respectful and mindful. Set those boundaries. Well, I cannot do that I can't do it at this time, but I'm available at this time, because I have those the time slot, which I talked about already, of my writing, and be faithful to your time. Be faithful to yourself and committed to yourself before committing to everyone and everything else. Listen, my time is up here with you guys. I pray that the behind the scenes road to publishing on this day has been one of direction, of focus, of untangling, some some emotional and mental and also spiritual things that you may be dealing with writing, because it can affect you all the way around, especially when you're looking at everyone else, and especially social media. Honey, listen, don't get so, caught up. That is not your life. That is not your real world. Okay. That is not your reality. Okay. That's just for fun. Don't get so caught up in social media to where it rules who you are. You are changing because of social media. You're trying to keep up with everybody else and what they're doing, and it's affecting who you are, your integrity, your writing, and how you are putting out what you're wanting to put out. And you probably, want to produce so fast because somebody may be telling you, go ahead and write that book and get it out. And, don't put a deadline. Put a deadline. Put a 6 months deadline, put a year deadline. And it's okay if you don't make those deadlines, because maybe, there is more in you that is not ready to be released yet. Like I said, it took me 2016, maybe 5-6 years before I released my book. There was so much more I did not know that needed to be in this book. And so therefore, when I thought the delays were just me, and like, I don't have nothing else to write, but it was giving me more context. It would give me more meat. It was giving me more substance to my writing for you, for those who are, going to be picking up this book and reading and wanting to discover their I can as a writer. This is just for you. So you guys, thank you so much for joining me on another AuthorTube tour. Today is all about behind the scenes, my road to publishing. I hope that you have heard something that is going to be beneficial in your writing journey. And you know what? We're going to leave the same way that we came. So much. I love you. Have a blessed day. And don't forget to meet me on Friday. Listen, we have an amazing guest author that is going to be pouring into us on another level. Listen, you thought the first author and the second author brought it. Listen, we just keep going. We're going higher and higher. We are just really pouring in and digging out everything about being an author as much as possible with where we are. So, wait to see you. Guys, have a great one. Bye.